Hi, my name is Mike Doty, and for my informative speech, I'll be teaching a little bit about the PB&J. So a little introduction to it. The PB&J, the recipe has only been around for about 100 years. People didn't really know about it, so that was just the most recent time it's been written down. Previously, it was a luxury to have that because the peanut industry wasn't commercialized, so it was very expensive to get your hands on peanuts. So that just drove up the price, passed that down to consumers and made it really expensive to make the sandwich. It was really popular during World War II. It was one of the soldiers' favorite meals, and it's a healthy meal for everyone. Okay, so like I said, the PB&J was previously a luxury. This is because peanuts were previously compared to sweet peas, so they were kind of in a different category than they are now, and people didn't really care too much to produce them. So in 1896, the Good Housekeeping came up with an article that really sparked interest in peanuts, and this really drove the creation of commercializing the industry. So the second revolutionary aspect of the PB&J was sliced bread. So I'm sure you've heard the saying, best thing since sliced bread. It's a saying that's been around for a while because this really did change the whole sandwich industry. In 1928, Otto Rohrwader created the automated bread slicer. It wasn't very popular at first, but about 2 years in, sliced bread became commercialized and was selling very regularly. So World War II was really the spark where the PB&J really took off because the soldiers were given a couple different food options, but 3 of the main ingredients were grapelade, which is basically like a jelly or a jam, peanut butter, and sliced bread. So they weren't told to combine these. They were never really given to them together, but the soldiers just kind of got the idea. Might as well put them all together, and it stuck, and it was by far one of their favorite meals, and they couldn't get enough of it. So the PB&J is extremely nutrient packed, so it gave them enough energy to fill their stomachs with all the protein that's in it. Gave them energy to be out on the battlefield all day, or doing whatever they needed to do, and just keep them energized throughout the day. On top of that, it was a savior during the Great Depression. So during the Great Depression, as we know, a lot of families were out of jobs. They didn't have a lot of money, but they still needed to eat. They still needed to feed their kids. So looking for an inexpensive alternative to a good meal was something that they needed to do. And peanuts don't really expire. Bread is very inexpensive to buy at the store, along with jelly also. So being able to combine these 3 for a meal that hits a lot of the macronutrients and some of the micronutrients that we need to survive, it's just getting that in one meal that's super easy to make was a huge part of the Great Depression. Okay, so the modern peanut butter and jelly. Nowadays, you can find the peanut butter and jelly pretty much anywhere, whether you're on a sports field, at the mall, at the park having a picnic. The PB&J has really kind of taken over the sandwich industry and really the portable food industry. So it packs 376 calories, 13 grams of protein, and 3.5 grams of fiber. So though it's not a ton for one meal throughout the day, or even a couple times, you're definitely gonna meet your requirements for the day just by eating a couple peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They're super easy to transport because they don't require a whole lot of refrigeration over short periods of time. So it's not like cheese and dairy products that go bad pretty easily. Jelly, peanut butter, and bread, they stay fresh for a while. Just maybe a simple ice pack or something to keep them fresh. So making the peanut butter and jelly, I kind of broke this down into 6 main steps. So the first one is just grabbing 2 slices of bread. You need this because for step 2, you're going to take the peanut butter and you're going to spread it over one of the slices of bread evenly. That way each bite is pretty much the same consistency. Step number 3 is going to be taking jelly or jam, whatever you prefer, whichever flavor you prefer, whether it's grape, strawberry, it doesn't matter. Putting that on the second slice evenly as well, just like you did with the peanut butter. And then step number 3 is just going to be to combine the slices. That way you form a sandwich out of that. Step number 5, which is optional, you can slice it in half. You can cut it into fourths, just so it's a little bit easier to handle for smaller children. And then step number 6 is just to enjoy it. Okay, so in conclusion, the peanut butter and jelly was once a luxury food. Now, obviously, it's something the everyday man can afford. Let's see. Kids, on average, will eat 1,500 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches over their lifetime. That just speaks to how popular of a meal it is for everyone. And, the peanut butter and jelly was introduced at the perfect time, in the perfect way. It was just a match made in heaven for soldiers out in the battlefield, people that were suffering during the Great Depression, and just carry on that tradition today. Just something that we can always look back to through the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. There's so much history with it that most people don't even know. And just really learning about that, just every time you eat one, it really kind of brings you back to the sacrifices people have made in this country to get us where we are today.